Welcome everybody, Codename Soap here, coming at you today with something a little different, a little new to the channel, and that is Slay the Spire. Recently, put out a video saying, things are going to change around here, and the game that was being played in the background of that video was this one, Slay the Spire. There are a few people that were like, hey, what is this game? Just very curious about it, saying you should play this. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to put up an actual video of the game, what it is, how it works, all that fun stuff. And if, people enjoy this and they want to see more, then by all means, we can continue it. So what is Slay the Spire? For those of you who don't know, it is essentially like a strategy card game, little RPG elements built in. It's kind of hard to explain it because this is not my normal type of game. You guys know me, I'm more the RPG style. That's what I tend to play, with a little bit of other stuff thrown in here and there, but primarily I'm an RPG type of player. But in saying all that, even though this is not my normal type of game, I love this game. I cannot state that enough that I love this game. There was not too long ago I had to do some traveling for work, and obviously I can't lug around. I mean, I could have lugged around my PC, but I don't want to, so I had my laptop with me. And this game is, sitting in the hotel when I'm not like watching the History Channel and Ancient Aliens, and all that fun stuff. I'm playing Slay the Spire and a few other games here and there that, can play on a laptop just no problem. This is one of them. This is a great game to pick up. You can set it down. It's designed in a way to be played in a single sitting, which we're going to try to do today. And basically in that video I put out the other day, I did the whole first level, if you will, in that one sitting, because I can go through some of this pretty quickly if I get, the right cards, the right enemies, stuff like that. Am I a master of this game? Oh no. By no means. Don't get it mistaken. I'm not the greatest at this game by any means, but I do love it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this too. But before we get started, as always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy. So we're going to play the game. Got a few different modes. There's the standard one, which is what we're going to do. There's like different challenges you can do in your daily climb. And then of course, custom games you can do. So we'll do a standard. As of right now, there are 3 characters. There's a beta, like you could sign up for the beta of the game, and there's like a 4th character, a new character that's being worked on, which I have not done, but I'm very interested to see what that 4th character brings. So we'll just run through the characters here. So you've got the Ironclad, more of your kind of like warrior type character, starts off with 80 hit points, 99 gold. Remaining soldier of the Ironclad sold his soul to harness demonic energies. He has an ability, if you will, called Burning Blood. At the end of combat, he will heal 6 HP. And the unlocks are just like, how many cards have I unlocked as this character? I've got a couple of unlocks remaining, and there's points to get to the next unlock. Then, I'm intentionally skipping the middle one because that's who I love to play as. And you'll see why. If you know me, if you know this channel, you know why. Then we have the Defect, an automaton, a combat automaton, which became self-aware. Ancient technology allows the manipulation of orbs. His ability is Cracked Core. At the start of each combat, he channels 1 lightning, and that basically is he has these orbs that hang out above him, and at the end of his turn, it will channel, or basically use kind of the ability that's in these orbs, and there are various abilities to use. Cool character, probably the one that I least enjoy playing as. Ironclad second, this one number 1, Defect, number 3. Not anything bad, it's just the way, those strategies behind how you play the character just not really fitting to my mindset. But then we get to my girl, the Silent. A deadly huntress from the Foglands, eradicates foes with daggers and poisons. She has the Ring of Snake, or of the Snake. At the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. So basically, when you start combat, you get some extra cards to start up with. Uses daggers and poisons, and they're basically different builds that, you know, depending on which cards you get, there are other things called relics that you can get, can more focus the character down like a certain path as far as, are they, you know, more damage, are they more tanky, things of that nature. I personally prefer on the Silent a small mixture of poisons and shivs, which we may or may not see shivs. It kind of depends on if we get it. But if certain relics start dropping that, you know, really help one or the other, then we sway more towards that, and I'll explain it as we go along. Now, down here at the bottom, you may see that the Silent has this ascension. Basically, runs get harder as you win. So as you beat the game, you unlock ascensions. I have unlocked 3 because as Silent, I have beaten the game a few different times. And so, essentially, it just makes things harder. So, for example, at you got level 1, which is elites spawn more often, just an enemy type. At 2, normal enemies are deadlier on top of the elites spawning more often. And then when we get to 3, elites are deadlier on top of those other 2. So I'm going to turn it off just for the sake of, you know, showing how this works, all that fun stuff. We're just going to do, if you just got the game, just installed it for the first time, or, you know, if you've never beaten the game and you've played it multiple times, you just don't have Ascension yet. So, we've got the Silent. We are embarking on our adventure. And when you start, you get this, I don't know the creature's name, because if there's like extra lore and stuff, I just haven't jumped into it, if I'm being perfectly honest. But this creature always greets you, this whale kind of creature. And it just says, hello again. Or there are other things like welcome back, or another try, another run, you know, something of that nature, various things. Now, before we really dive into it, so we've got, here's our ring that we talked about before, our hit points, our how much money we've got. There are empty potion slots. You can pick up potions along the way. All characters can. There is the map of the current dungeon. These change every time you play. And then, of course, you got your legend of unknown. So it could be fights, could be treasures, could be shops, something entirely different. Merchants where you can buy all your goodies. Treasure. Places you can rest, places where enemies are, and then the elite, the elites. All of them right there, which we'll get to that here in a bit. You got your starting deck. You got 5 strikes, 5 defends. We also have this survivor card, which is we gain 8 block, and then we also have to discard a card. And then we have a neutralize, where we damage 3 damage. Apply 1 weak. And as you can see here, the effect, weakened creatures deal 25% less damage with attacks. And a lot of this, you know, we'll kind of talk through and go through as we play along, as far as, hey, here, the enemy is intending to do this, so I'm going to do this to counter it, or I'm going to ignore it and do this instead. Different strategies. All right, so anyway, we'll go back, and of course, up here we got your settings. So, this right here, just showing your version, the date of the update, and then I believe that is the seed number. If I recall correctly, there's an option to set seeds. Like if you know a seed that works for you or that challenges you, you can use it specifically to go through and play the game. So anyway, hello again. So we're going to talk, and we get to choose. We have options. So we can choose a card that we have, those ones that I showed you, and we can upgrade it. We could obtain 100 gold. We could lose all our gold and obtain a random rare relic, or we could lose our starting relic, which is this, the 2 additional cards, and we could obtain a random boss relic. Personally, I like this for now. There comes a point where we may get rid of it, may change it, depending on just how this goes. But personally, I like having the extra options at the start of combat. So, this one, I'm not going to do. Upgrade a card, that's actually probably what I'm going to go with. And I'm going to choose Neutralize. So as you can see, when you upgrade it, you are upgrading some of its effects. Sometimes the cost of it, which is this guy right up here, like how much action points for you D&D fans, mana in some cases. It basically, how much this can also sometimes change too, so it can go down. But in this case, it already costs 0, so it's going to stay 0. This costs nothing to play, which is why, right off the bat, why it's a good card. But the 4 damage, so we hit them 4 damage. Boom, right off the bat. Not bad. At least at the beginning. Later on, this, for that amount, is worthless in some cases, but the 2 weak. So 2 is how many turns of weak they get. So upgrading that right away, I like to do. Just me personally, again, I'm not an expert at this game. All right, granted. Now, let's leave. We're back to the map screen. So we have different paths we can start off with. All of these kind of bouncy ones we can choose. Some ways to look at the game are you can say, all right, how much treasure can I pick up? And as you can see, all of these paths branch, converge, come back together, and do all kinds of things. And there's every path, no matter which way we go, gets 1 treasure. So, okay, we're not going to go after that. Merchants, though. We've got a couple of paths here that can lead to merchants. And basically, it looks like no matter which path we start on, we could get to a merchant. There's just a way to do it. So if you, more or less like if you started here, went up here, all of this kind of came around here, you can get to a point where you hit like crossroads, so to speak, like right here. And if you go this way, you can get to here. And if you go this way, you can come over to here. So yeah, no matter what, we can get to a merchant some way. So we can kind of scratch that off the what we want to do list. Rest. There's plenty of options for rest. And always before your final boss, you always have a rest option. At least in what I've played. Enemies, they're all over the place. Now, elites. Defeating them will reward you a relic. This is how I and others that play the game like to look at it is, all right, how many elites can we potentially get? So I'm looking here on this kind of left side. We could potentially get 3 elites. And this one here, like if we went to this one, there's rest before it, the elite. Rest again to kind of recover your HP or even upgrade cards. Then you can hit up a shop. Then you can get one again. Then you can rest again, and then you can hit this. So this is kind of my idea, is we're seeing 3 elites along this path. So we can start at one of these 2, and then we have to branch off to the right so we can get to this, is what I'm thinking. All right, so right off the bat, merchant, there's some things you can get after the fact. You'll get some gold for your first fight. So that's cool, but this could be something good. It also could be something bad, but we hit one here anyway. So my idea is we're going to start right here. And here we go. We're in battle. These are not timed, so you can sit here and you can think. You can strategize, which is one thing I like. And so right now, we got us, the silent. We got our enemies over here. Down at the bottom is how many hit points they have. So 9 for this one, very weak. This acid slime. And then this spike slime has 29. So this one's going to hang around for a little bit. They, as you can see above their head, are intentions. This little green, strategic. This enemy intends to inflict a negative effect on you. Okay. Now there are ways to block that negative effect, to negate it, but I don't have those currently. We may see some of those later. This guy, strategic. He intends to inflict a negative effect on you and attack for 8 damage. All right. Now, those negative effects, you don't necessarily know what they are right off the bat, you know, if you're really just first getting into the game. You kind of can figure them out as you go along, and you know, you see the same enemy types over and over. Of course, you can figure that out. Now, down at the bottom, we've got our starting hand, randomized, of course. How much energy we have, so that's that number I was talking about. So I can play, you know, 1, 2, and 3 things, because they all cost 1, but again, neutralize costs 0. We have our draw pile over here. So basically at the start of each turn, you draw 5 cards. Now this is only going to affect this first turn because this is the start of combat. It's not the start of each turn. A good thing to know there. Then you got your discard pile right over there. When you're ready to end your turn, you just give that button a press, or you can press, at least by default, it's E on the shortcut. So, in saying that, let us begin. So, where my mind is at. This guy can die pretty quick, pretty easy. This guy's going to stick around. And he's also attacking the actual like physical damage there. So I'm thinking neutralize on this guy. Basically just pick that up, drop it on him. You don't have to actually pick it up. I'm just clicking it once and then come over here and I'll click again to apply the effect. So you can see, move around on the mouse. That's what you got. So I'm going to do that. Boom. He's now been weakened. So now instead of hitting for 8 damage, he's hitting for 6. 25% less. So that cost us nothing. So we're off to a good start. Now, in saying that, I still want to defend against this 6 attack. A normal block will only get us 5, which means we'll still be hit for 1 damage unless we do another block. So then we'd have 10. We'd have block left over. Hey, great. But you lose your block at the start of each turn. Or I could just do this. Gain 8 block and discard a card, so that way I'm not using 2 energy to accomplish more or less the same as what this would do. So we're going to play that next. And we're going to discard, I'm just going to choose a block because we don't need to play any other block cards. Boom. Now we're down, we've used 1 energy, we got 2 left. So what do? We have 12 total damage we can deal. So 6 and 6. So I'm going to get this guy out of the way. So that's 1, and that's 2, and he's dead. So now we're defending against 6. We're still going to take in that negative effect. We've weakened him for a total of 2 turns. That includes this one. So now we'll end our turn. All right, so there's that negative effect. He just slimed us. So slimed does, in itself, nothing. But it does add... it does add a card to the deck. And there's only so many cards you can have in your hand, as we determined earlier. It's 5 per turn, unless you have something that changes that. So if you draw this, that means you're losing out on other potential things. If you play this card, it exhausts it. It gets rid of it, removed until end of combat. So there is a strategic reason for possibly playing this card. It does cost you 1 energy, though, so that's the negative effect. Oh, sorry. Now, as you can see underneath, here is that weakened status. He's still dealing 6 damage. All right, now we continue on, turn 2. So again, going with the 6. So I am going to just take a hit. I got my 5 block. I'm going to take 1 point of damage. Because maximum we could have dealt 18, but then we eat up a grand total of 6. So I'm just going to only be able to do 12 damage here. Just like that. And that'll be it for that turn. Now this next turn, if we get 3 attacks, which we do, boom, we can kill him. So 6, 12, 18, right there. So we're just gonna 1 and a 2 and a 3. There we go. All right, so we picked up 20 gold, and we get to add a card to our deck. So here we go. So shivs, as I was talking about earlier. So shivs are cards that cost 0, and their attacks. I believe by default they do 4 damage, if I remember correctly. But this costs 1 to do it, and then you get an attack out of it. Dagger throw, also an attack, deal 9 damage. Draw a card and discard a card, so you can kind of keep your deck moving. Strategy card right there. And then this one costing 2 energy. Deal 10 damage. If you have discarded a card this turn, you gain 2 energy. A powerful card if you have a discard kind of focused deck. So right now I only have 1 card that guarantees a discard, and that's that block one we played previously. So if I played that one, which costs 1, then I could play this, which would deplete our energy down to 0, but because I had discarded that card in that other turn, we gained 2 more energy, which then could lead to more blocking or more attacks. This is a good card. By all means, this is good card, this is good card. but I don't want to focus on discarding and hoping that I happen to get those two in the same turn. It's hoping, because it's random. So what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to focus on shivs. And if we pick up more shivs along the way, cool. And if we pick up more relics that help with shivs along the way, also cool. And if not, then we can get rid of cards as well. So we'll pick this one up, and we shall proceed. All right, we're going to head up our shop. First merchant. How's it going, old fellow? I love this card. I am going to pick that up, but we'll go through like the other things. So as you can see, here's your merchant. What shows up in all of this changes every time you hit it. So you've got things that you can buy, just different cards. You got different relics and potions that you can buy as well. We have 119 gold currently. There is a card removal service. So basically, if we decide, oh man, we shouldn't have gotten that Shiv card, let's get rid of it, free up some space in our deck, then yeah, we can go through. But every time we do that, it increases the cost of 25, or by 25, not 225. So it goes from 75 to 100 to 125 to 150. So it costs more and more gold every time you use it. So I try to save that for, a rainy day. But this, I love this. So Jack of all trades, it's a skill card. Add one random colorless card into your hand and then you exhaust it. The potential of what comes with a colorless card is really cool. So I'm going to get that because I really like me the Jack of all trades card. It can be really, really good. It comes in the clutch. So we're going to leave. I picked that up. I'm going to proceed. All right, got another fight. All right, so we got a new thing. This enemy intends to use a buff. So they're going to buff up, like defense, attack, things of that nature. So I don't need to defend right now. These are all useless in this particular turn. So we can just focus on these four. So I can deal 18 points of damage. Now this is the 2 shivs into your right hand. I thought it was just 1. I may have said that, and apologies for that. So that could potentially be 8 damage. So I'm going to play that. Yeah, so it's 8 damage. So we can do 8 damage, and then 14, excuse me, and then 20. So now we can deal 20 points of damage because these 2 cost 0, and then another, they cost 1 each. So that's what we'll do. Kaboom, 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 and kaboom. All right. Good turn for attack. All right, we'll end that. So there we go. So he is buffed. At the end of its turn, gains 3 strength. Strength affects your attacks, like how strong they are. So currently, he's going to go with 6 at damage. So I'm going to play my neutralize to more or less counteract that a little bit. So now he's down to 4. Cool. I'm going to play my Jack of all trades, which gets metamorphosis. Shuffle 3 random attacks into your pile. They cost 0. This combat, that's 3 attacks. 3 that all cost 0. But we also exhaust this. So I want to make sure I defend against that 4. And let's go ahead and do this. All right, so not on this turn. They're in our pile. They're right over here. So most likely on the next turn, and actually on the next turn, because that's 5, we're going to get all of those new attacks. And then right here are exhausted cards. So things that all have this exhaust option, you don't get those back once you play them in your particular battle that you're doing. All right, so we'll end that. And here we go. So what do we got? All out attack. Deal 10 damage to all enemies and discard 1 card at random. So, yeah, oh, that sounds great. 10 damage, boom, but then one of these is gone. So we're going to hold off. So deal 15 damage. Next turn, draw 2 additional cards. So that, let's just play it. Boom, right there. And then we got this, draw 2 additional cards. Great. Deal 7 damage X times. The X deals is for how much energy you have. So this just consumes all your energy. So that's 21. So which means He's dead. There we go. All right, so we got our first potion coming up. So let's get our gold. Let's get a card. Let's see. Whenever you play a card this turn, the enemy loses 3 HP. That's kind of cool. This one's pretty good. All enemies lose 6 strength this turn, so that negatively affects how strong their attacks are. 10 block, 10 damage. That's just a solid card. Solid card. So I think out of these 3, and we can skip this if we wanted. If we saw just nothing but garbage, we could skip it. But I'm actually going to go with this. Nice block, nice damage. Now our first potion. An ancient potion, which gives you 1 artifact. What is an artifact? It negates the next debuff. So those first guys that were like, hey, they're going to play a negative effect on us. If we played that potion ahead of time, boom, negates that. And it's just like nothing ever happened. So we'll pick that up. Let's proceed. All right, so I want to aim at that elite. So we're going to go to the right to our first question mark. And here we go. So before you lies an elaborate shrine to an ancient spirit, we have 3 options. We can pray and gain 100 gold. We can desecrate it, gain 275 gold, but we also become cursed with regret. Regret is a card that is unplayable. At the end of your turn, lose HP equal to the number of cards in your hand. Risk reward, my dear readers. Or we could just leave. I'm just going to get me free 100 gold. As your hand touches the shrine, gold rains from the ceiling, showering you in riches. Thanks. There we go. All right. Now, after getting that gold, we're back at a merchant. Let's see what the merchant has for us this time. Hi, buy something. Buy, buy, buy. I immediately see what I'm going to get. Immediately. That would be caltrops. Whenever you're attacked, deal 3 damage back. So even if you block the attack, you're damaging the other enemy. Or the other person, or whatever. So yeah, you're coming to the hand. Welcome. Gain 4 block at the cost of nothing. Also good. Block is not removed in your next turn. That's also good. We saw all-out attack before. That's cool. Die, die, die. Deal 13 damage to all enemies. Exhaust. We can't afford it, though. And we cannot afford transmutation. Add however much energy, random colorless cards to your hand. They cost 0 this turn. Exhaust. So, that's also good. But we can't afford it. We could also buy some potions. Which, you know, gain some block. Vulnerable. They take 50% more damage. Intangibles reduce all damage taken to 1, which definitely comes in handy against some really strong elites and the bosses. That's also a good pickup, but I'm not going to pick it up right now because I'm going to just get me some free block. And we shall proceed. All right, we're going to battle our first elite. This guy. All right, so right off the bat, he's going to buff because he's a strong, heavy-hitting boy. All right, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to deal as much damage as possible. And that's going to require basically kind of the same principle we did before. So right there, you're weakened for a couple of turns. We're going to get a couple of shivs in our hand. We're going to damage, 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 damage. Good start, good start. All right, so as you can see here, his buffs. All right, so obviously, he intends to attack for 10 damage. Okay. He's enraged. Whenever you play a skill, he gains 2 strength. Skills are your block cards. These. So if you don't attack him, he gains strength, which adds to his damage. And currently he's weakened, so he's going to deal 25% less damage. And that enrage is lasting for 2 turns. So, what we're going to do is we're popping out this guy. 10 block, 10 damage, but it's an attack card, so it does not trigger the enrage. So he stays the same. We're blocking that attack, no problem. We will just attack. I'm going to hold on to this and not play those, obviously. Boom. Oh, never mind. That doesn't go away after 2 turns. It's just there. Sorry for, I misspoke. So, since a power is not a skill, we're going to play that. It's going to deal 14 damage. I do want to block some of that. So this is where the strategy really starts to take place. So I'm going to get me a bit of that. And I'm just going to attack. Keep whittling him down. I'm going to eat up about 12 points of damage, but I'm also going to be dealing 3 damage back on top of the 12 damage that I'm dealing right there. So 15 total damage back to him. Okay. So 8. So we're going to weaken him again. Bring that down a bit. And I'm not going to raise that up. I'm just going to attack in my turn early. Your energy does not carry over to your next turn if you have any remaining, unless you have an effect or a card or something that says that it does. So I'm not going to play any of these. I'm just going to soak up 6 points of damage because he's getting ready to be real low. And we're done. So that's 6, and that's 6. He's dead. Cool. We got our first relic. So the gold. Another ancient potion. Sure. And a new card. So we don't have poison yet. So deal 7 damage if the enemy has poison, which we don't have any poison dealing options. So this card is useless to us right now. Skewer, deal 7 damage X amount of times, however much energy. Flying Knee, deal 8 damage next turn, gain energy. 1 energy to be specific. I like that card. All right, our Runic Dodecahedron, excuse me. If your HP is full, gain energy at the start of your turn. I like that. Now, granted, our HP is not full because you don't heal unless, you know, you're the Ironclad because he heals a little bit after. But you can heal when you get to the fires, the rests. All right, another mystery room. So this one's battle. All right. So these guys curl up. On receiving attack damage, rolls up and gains 7 block once per combat. Alrighty. Excuse me. So we're just going to pop this guy, see what it gives us. There's that metamorphosis again. I'm not going to play that. Looking at 12 damage. Alright. So we are going to get 8 block. I'm going to discard the metamorphosis. I'm going to get another bit of block. So that's 13. That's going to block all of that. And I'm going to deal a little bit of damage back to them. Just like that. Okay. This guy is going to do a buff. 5 damage we want to negate. No problem. We'll do that. We'll make him curl. So he's got 7 block, which means when we attack, we have to be able to get past the block before we can start actually dealing damage. So we'd have to deal 7 to get his block down, and then it would go on to it. So this 12 damage would actually be 5, so we could kill this guy in this particular thing. So 6, now he has 1 block. Another 6, oh, never mind, we couldn't actually kill him. I wasn't paying attention to my energy, but you see what I'm saying. He technically has 5 to hold him over, and we can deal 6, so we can kill him. All right. So, here we go. Now, oh, he's about to attack. I should weaken him. No. We're going to hold on to that. Because what I'm going to do is kill this guy and get the block. And I could kill him. I didn't, there's a couple of ways I could have gone about that, but we killed them both. That's the important thing. 20 gold. Energy potion, which is just gain 2 energy. Cool. Let's get a card. Okay, ooh. 2 cards. The 2 ones that apply weak. I'm liking those. 3 damage 5 times, that's cool. But I like to be a bit more strategic with, say, for example, the weaks, especially when you're taking damage. All right. 2 weak and gain 11 block or 7 damage in 1 week. One's an attack, obviously. One's a skill. I'm going to go with this. Get a bit of that block in there. All right. So, both paths we take can get us to a treasure. One gets us to the rest, though, and then to the elite. So we're going to go this way. All right, so thievery. This guy just steals 15 gold whenever it attacks. Bastard. All right, so he's gonna try to attack us for 10. So let's weaken right off the bat. Right off the bat. Let's gain some block. Let's see what we can get here. 2 vulnerable, hey, for free. So he's gonna receive more attack damage from us. Cool. And we did all of that without doing anything because they all cost 0. So, 7. So we can basically deal all 3 of these. Or we can do the 2 defends and the caltrops. I'm going to do... Actually, we don't even need 2. We only need 1 because we got 4 block. So I'm going to gain a little bit of block, get the caltrops in there, and hit you for a bit of damage. All right. All right, so even though he didn't hit me, he still got the gold. All right, so he's got 30. So let's see. We can weaken him, get all the block we need, and then only be able to hit him once. Or we can take a little bit of damage and output a bit more. That's what I'm leaning towards. So let's do this, that, and that. So down to 12. Okay. Boom. So a lot of things wore off there. A lot of those effects. So now he's going to intend to block on its turn. So he's not doing anything to us. So now this is kind of an all-out attack time for us. We need to deal 9 damage. So he's dead. That was 10 damage right there. We got our gold back. We gained more gold. We got an attack potion. Choose one of 3 random attack cards to add to your hand. It costs 0 this turn. Okay, I like that. But do I like it more than the artifacts? We will discard that one so we can get our attack potion. All right. So here we go, new cards. Some free damage. It's free damage. Gain 5 block and draw 2 cards. Very useful. 4 damage for each skill in your hand. Not bad. But I'm gonna go with this one here. And I want to keep an eye on my deck, because obviously the bigger your deck is, the more, you know, hands you have. But if there's that card or that card combination you're looking for, it could take so much longer for it to cycle around that it's just worthless. So I want to keep an eye on that. Okay, treasure. Here we go. Let's open. A letter opener. Every time you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. Sure. I'm not going to skip that. That's good. All right. Our first rest stop. We have an option. We can't do both. We can either heal for 30% of our max HP, so that'd be 21, which would heal us up completely, actually. Or we could upgrade a card in our deck. So I am going to rest. And in this case, get completely healed. Because if your HP is full, gain energy at the start of your turn. We're getting ready to fight an elite. Now, upgraded cards are also really good. So depending on the level of damage we take here, if it's minimal, then when we come here, I can upgrade a card. If it's really bad, then I'll rest here, go to the shop, maybe get a little something new, then get to this elite. So, next elite. All right, these guys. These sentries. Basically, the way these guys play this, these two do the same thing as each other, and then this one's kind of the opposite. They switch back and forth between strategic effect, attack, strategic effect, attack. So that's what these guys do. They naturally have artifacts. So 1 debuff, meaning that if I were to try... I don't have it out, but the ones that apply weak, it would just negate it the first time it hits them. Or if I have poison or something like that. So, elites are a good place to use potions. So I'm going to drink that potion, and I'm also going to get an artifact, so I'm going to negate this guy's debuff, but I'm still going to take his, but I'm not getting 2. So that's good. Our dodecahedron is flashing because we have 4 on this. All right, let's dance. So, 9 damage coming our way. I'm going to deal some damage to this guy. We got our block out of the way. That's good. And I'm just kind of looking. I don't need to gain any more block. So I am going to do that, get the power started right away, and I'm going to get me some shivs. I'm just going to focus on this guy. Basically, just go down the line. All right. End of turn. Okay. I drank the potion when I shouldn't have because they're doing negative effects, not debuffs. My bad. See, I said I'm not the best at this game. All right. Anyway, free block. 8 damage. So we're looking at 18 damage. We can absorb 14 of it. Sure. We might as well. Boom. There's the skills come into play right there. All right. Bit of that, which will get us extra energy on our next turn. And there's 6 to you. Choose one of 3 random attack cards. Sure. We'll do that. It costs 0. Well, then in that case, I'm going to do this. So I can deal 10 damage, gain some extra block. Kaboom. So we got 2 extra energy. One is from the card, one's from the dodecahedron, because since I killed that guy, we didn't take that extra damage. We got the extra block. We're all good. All right. So this is technically only going to be a free attack for 4 damage, because the weak is getting absorbed right there. His artifact is gone, though, so the next time that kind of comes around, like this, now he's weakened. And we got all the block we need. So I am just going to attack again in that turn. All right, so here's the first time we actually got one of the cards that they kind of put in our hand. So ethereal cards mean that if this card is in your hand at the end of the turn, it is exhausted. But we can't play it, so we can't just get rid of it. So it just sits there and it takes up space. And we can only have 5 cards in our hand at once, unless there's other effects, of course. So that's bad for us to have it. All right, so let's look. 9 damage coming our way. Or we're just going to, I'm going to bring his little artifact off of there. So we got all the block we need. We're good on that. So right now I'm looking at these guys. So jack of all trades, give me. Gain 30 block. You cannot gain block from cards for 2 turns. Exhaust. We don't need that right now. So I'm just going to deal some damage. And that's it. I mean, no real need to play this. I mean, I could, and then just discard this, but there's no need to. So, there we go. All right. So now, free attack and some weak. Boom. Hit him. And 10 block, deal 10 damage. Sure. Goodbye. And then this guy's not attacking right now, so we'll just hit him with that. We'll just end our turn. All right, we're looking at 9 damage coming in. But look, we really only have these 2. We can't do anything with these other 3 cards. So, a little bit of block. We'll get some shivs. We'll hit him. We'll hit him. And now we're actually going to take some damage, so our dodecahedron is no longer going to benefit us at all in this particular round of fighting. And that's okay. All right. 11. Can we deal 11 damage? We can. All right, he's dead. Boom. Boom. There we go. 14 damage. Gold, tough bandages. Whenever you discard a card during your turn, gain 3 block. Hey, that helps. We do have 1 card that can discard, so cool, a little extra. Add a card, all right. If you've discarded, there's that one again. Apply 4 poison and 2 weak to all enemies and exhaust it. That's a good card. 6 damage for each attack played this turn. Okay, so this one's kind of tricky. I don't want to go this one because I don't have a discard heavy deck currently. I like this. I'm just not a fan of that it costs 2. And then this, if we do some attacks, cool, but that also costs 1. So actually, with this, I'm just going to skip it. All right. So moving on to our next rest. I'm going to upgrade a card. So let's look here. Cards that are mighty useful, like Dash. 13 block, 13 damage. Really good. Whenever you're attacked on the Caltrops, goes from 3 to 5. The deflect bumps that up to 7, and that's for free. That's really good. 11 damage. Not bad. 3 weak and 14 block. Oof. That's also really good. 8 block, draw 2 cards. Add 2 random colorless cards. Also pretty good. And we could add 3 shivs. So there's some good stuff. But honestly, going from 4 to 7 block or the 3 weak. Yeah, I'm going with that one. All right. Now, I'm going to go to the merchant. So let's look here. Just looking at the different cards. I don't see a lot that jump out at me, if I'm being honest. What about this relic? Pawn pickup, upgrade to random skills. Let's look at some potions. Attack, strength, that's good. Vulnerable. We could retain cards. I mean, that's just a useful card, so we'll take that. I'm gonna get that strength potion as well. I think that's about it that I really want. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a fun one, but yeah. All right, let's hit up that elite. This guy again. So we don't need to explain what he does. We already fought him. It's just we're fighting him again. So I'm just looking at some attacks here. I'm gonna actually do this to get more weak on him. Get some of my shivs. All right. So that's 10 damage. I can only block for 9, but then that would still raise it up. All right, let's just do that. So we're gonna take 4 damage, okay. Gain some strength the next turn, hit a little damage there. All right. Deal some damage back. Get me something there. Gain 1 artifact and exhaust. Sure. Because he's got potentially something coming our way. I'm gonna defend. Take 7. And then we're just gonna attack. And that's it for now. Okay, we'll throw that power out there to retain a card if we really want to. All right, let's think. I'll get me a little bit of this, get rid of that. Attack there. Whenever you discard a card, gain 3 blocks. So yeah, I'd say that was a good play. Just in case, we'll retain that card. You don't have to though. You can skip it. Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So now this is where this is happening. So we're gonna gain. We got 19. If we gain 2 energy, can we kill him? 8, 14. We can. Okay, cool. Boom. There we go. That could have been interesting. All right, goal. Start each combat with 4 plated armor. I like that. Obtain a random potion. We don't have poison. Apply 3 poison to a random enemy 3 times. That's cool, but yeah, we'll skip it. All right, right before a boss. I'm gonna rest, just heal up completely. And here we go, first boss. Or our first boss. It's not always this guy. All right, so he's gonna block, but after receiving 30 damage, he changes to a defensive mode. Okay, so we're gonna choose the option to retain. Just get that out of the way first. And I'm looking at attacking, so extra energy on our next turn. Let's get some shivs. And we'll just, there. Hasn't received that 30 damage, so he's not shifting modes just yet. I'm going to retain that card, because we can gain some block and... Alright, he's thinking about hitting for 32. So let's change up the game a little bit. Alright, so he's got 5 block, so we need to deal 7 damage to get him into a different mode. So let's do that. Boom. Alright, so now he's not attacking. And he's weakened. And he's going to try to do a buff. So right now, I'll draw the cards, see what we can do. Free block and attack. Sure, I mean, just whittle away, but honestly, let's end the turn. Let's hold on to that. Just free block. All right. So he's still gonna attack, but obviously not for as much. But now has sharp hide, so whenever you play an attack, take 3 damage. Okay. So I'm gonna get him out of his mode shift and try to not really hurt him all that much. So let's do a bit of that. I'm gonna hit him a little bit here. Absorb some of that because we had 28. We took the 3 from the sharp hide, so that's good. I'm just gonna play it. Put a card from your hand to the bottom of your draw pile. It costs 0. We'll just end it. I'll hold on to a defend. Sure, why not? Okay. 12 damage coming our way. And that's basically 6 damage 2 times is what that is. So he's going to hit us twice, 6 damage each time. Well, we're going to throw some of your own bit of business back at you. I'm also going to defend and throw me some shivs because I wanted to hit him a little bit with the damage there. And I'm just going to actually end the turn. And I'm going to also drink my strength potion just to give me 2 strength for until, you know, something happens to change that. All right, card to retain. A shiv. Boom. All right, out of the mode. So now we got 12 damage coming back at us. Okay. Hit him with the shiv. Let's see. 5 block and 2 cards coming my way. Weaken him and the damage. On top of that, let's do this. Let's get rid of this. And hit. Cool. Oh, and that 4-plated armor, we didn't really cover that. We gain 4 block. Receiving unblocked attack damage reduces plated armor by 1. So if he hits us and we can't block it, then it goes down to 3, and then 2, then 1, and then it's done. Alright, he's gonna buff. He doesn't have his sharp hide currently. So we can... There's no reason to try to block right now, but some weak is what we need. And I'll just throw some attacks at him. Just say, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna hold on to this. 10 block, 12 damage. Alright, so 6 coming our way. So let's bid that. Let's weaken him, actually. And let's hit him and get some block. And then we'll do that again. Take a little bit of that. Just a lot of block. Take some damage off of that. Because he's only hitting 6, 22. Plus another 4 coming our way from the plated armor. Boom. Just in case. Retain that one. 12 coming our way. Plus, looks like a buff as well. Quite interesting. All right, so let's think about blocking here. So 5 block and 2 cards. So we can block this attack, no problem. I don't feel like drawing some cards right now. Yeah, we'll just leave it. But I'll hold on to it. All right, back out of it. 12 damage coming our way. So let's do this. We got that free shiv because we held on to it. So right now we have a total of 9 block. We need to get a few more in the block category. So I'm just gonna get rid of that because we don't need more block. Flying knee, kaboom, coming in. Regular attack, 8 damage, boom. All right. We'll hold on to an attack, sure. Boom. All right. Woof. Stacking up on that energy. All right, so this is all out attack time, so pop that. Get a bit of that. Get a bit of that. There we go. Sure, why not? Put a card from your hand, draw pile. Sure, we'll play that. We'll drop one in. And I'll end this, retain that. Alright, so 6 damage. Couple of those hit you with that. We can use some more, or, you know, just make it linger a little bit. I'll take a bit of that, but I'll still hit you. Because we're going to have 13 total block against a 6. Sure, just in case. Okay, he's getting low. Getting low. All right, free block, of course. Some weak. 12 damage we're set on that. I'll actually take a little chance there. 15, that's still 19 block. So if we take 3 off that, it'll be 16. Sure. Yeah, we still got plenty. Plenty. 5 block, 2 cards. We'll hold on to that. Okay, 12 damage, but we just have to deal 9. So there's 8. And there's that. He's dead. Boom. 105 gold. Add a card. Basically, at the end of the bosses, you get chances to get the kind of the higher end cool cards. Bullet time. You cannot draw additional cards this turn. Reduce the cost of all cards in your hand to 0 this turn. Very powerful. Gain 2 intangible at the end of your turn. Lose 1 dexterity, and dexterity helps improve your block. I'm not a big fan of that. Burst. This turn, your next skill is played twice. That's interesting. That's interesting. Next skill is played twice, eh? I'm trying to think. Skills-wise, what do we have? Obviously, all of our blocks. That Shiv one, though. That block one. That block. Oof. That. Okay. I think that will be our card. Because the other one's cool, but we do have some cards that play into drawing, and so if it negates that fact, you know, kind of defeats the whole purpose. And we got some treasure. Choose relic. 3 options to choose from. Ring of the Serpent. So this replaces our, at the start of each combat, draw 2 additional cards. This is at the start of your turn, draw 1 additional card. You see the difference there. So instead of it only being once at the beginning, this is once every single turn. That's a good option. Pandora's Box. Pawn, pickup, transform all strike and defend cards. So transform cards become a random card of any rarity. So that means all of these all of these get completely transformed into something we don't know. That's risky. Really, really, really risky. It can pay off big time, or it can be awful. Or upon pickup, choose and add 5 cards to your deck, which would bring us up to 27 if we go with all of them. I'm going to play it safe and just go Ring of the Serpent. And then that brings you to Act 2. But I'm going to end it right here. So, if you like the game, if you want to see more, let me know. Or if you just wanted to take this as an informational video just to see what the game is like, I highly recommend getting it if this is a game that interests you. But that'll be it. So, before I go, as always, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you guys later.